There's a new wedge issue that's driving apart not just Democrats and Republicans, but it's even pitting one Republican against another, and that is whether or not you should get your children vaccinated for things like the measles. Considering the outbreaks that we've seen recently, like at Disneyland, with the measles, obviously an important issue, and one that I think was worthy of debate 50 years ago, and yet we are still in 2015 debating it. So we're going to cover today the people, including Republicans, who have come out in favor of vaccination and those who are still living in another century. But before we get to that, before we get to the politicians and the media pundits and things like that, we do want to play just a couple of quick clips from a member of the CDC stressing how important it is that you actually get your kids vaccinated. Here is the first clip of that CDC officer.
Numbers of measles cases going up.
We are likely to see more cases. They're preventable. They're preventable by vaccine, and for places that haven't vaccinated, there's aggressive public health action to identify contacts, to isolate sick people, to quarantine people who've been exposed. But the best way to prevent measles is with vaccination.
Let's actually jump right into the next one where he expounds a little bit more on the importance of vaccination.
We have to make sure that measles doesn't get a foothold in the U.S. It's been actually eliminated from this country for 15 years.
Most of those cases are in individuals who have not been vaccinated. And what we see is a growing trend of parents who are getting get these called personal belief exemptions. Do we need to reconsider those types of exemptions?
Well, the places around the country that really require that personal belief be something that's deeply held and long-standing have a much higher vaccination rate. But overall, we have a 92% vaccination rate in this country. And even among those parents whose kids have not been vaccinated, most of them don't have that deeply held concern. They just may not recognize that measles is still with us, that it's serious, and that not getting your kid vaccinated is not only a risk for your own kid, but puts other vulnerable kids in your community at risk.
Yeah, they may not be aware of the charts showing the number infected by the measles in America by decade, or the number who died per year after the vaccination. You see the numbers just go down to almost nothing, to the point where it was considered eradicated from the U.S., but it is returning. So we're going to have some of those who are coming out in favor of vaccination first, but what do you think about the fact that this is a debate that we are actually having?
I really think that America for a good 200 years was doing this. Like, we really were getting somewhere. And rationalization and decency and education, it was all working. And something has happened in the last, it probably started around right after the Iraq War, I guess, somewhere around George W. Bush, maybe in the middle of it, where we're actually going backwards, that these things are even being debated. This is the same debate as global warming, where you can't say, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. You have to believe in what the scientists are telling you. And we are having debates. This is complete lunacy.
I'm going to say that, you talk about we were inclining, now we're declining.
Yeah, we're going backwards on the same thing. We didn't get over the hump and going this way. We're just going back this way. Yeah.
And I would point to the day Fox News went on the air. I think that's when it all started to go the other way. Now we're debating shit we shouldn't be debating. Fucking vaccines. We're debating torture. We're debating, is science real or is it a conspiracy? Are scientists just in it for the money?
Is heat a thing?
Yeah, so that's what happened.
I tweeted this the other day, but I'm waiting for someone to say they don't believe in gravity.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in gravity, and the science is out.
I believe in freedom to not believe. I believe in freedom to not believe.
Free. Oh, we're going to have some of Rand Paul basically saying that exact same thing. Now, we do want to jump to some of the politicians who actually listen to the CDC. They may not be infectious disease experts, but they know people who are, and they listen to them. First here is a relatively powerful man, Barack Obama.
Do you feel there should be a requirement that parents get their kids vaccinated?
Measles is preventable. I understand that there are families that in some cases are concerned about the effect of vaccinations. The science is, pretty indisputable. We've looked at this again and again. There is every reason to get vaccinated. There aren't reasons to not get vaccinated.
Are you telling parents you should get your kids vaccinated?
You should get your kids vaccinated. It's good for them, but we should be able to get back to the point where measles effectively is not existing in this country.
Jesus Christ. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Can I just say that clip right there is so why I'm over Obama? something that is so obvious. I get it. He's saying do it, but it's with such reserved, I get why you wouldn't want to do it. It's with such like just apathy. No, he needs to just get out there and say, you have to get vaccinated. Sorry, that's it. This thing was gone, it's coming back. Do you want your kids going to Disneyland and getting sick? I mean, it's just so obvious. And his body language and just the general cadence with which he speaks as he's sitting there like this defeated, I'll sort of entertain both sides. The Republicans really got to him. They made this man into a broken guy who's afraid to say what he really thinks.
Yeah. I mean, like we're not just talking about like, oh, it kind of sucks to have the measles. Like people die from the measles still around the world. Thousands of people die every single year. It wasn't that long ago that there were something like 500 reported measles deaths per year in the United States, and it's estimated that there were 3 or 4 times that number that wasn't reported. It is still a disease that can kill people and is likely to kill people, since this debate is unlikely to change the minds of all the intransigent people on the right and on the left who refuse to listen to scientists and actually get their kids vaccinated. Yeah.
You know what they say?
Well, here's what I want. I want to find the houses of the parents who say, well, I don't know, there could be side effects. So I don't want to pump it into my kid's body. And I want to look at their pantries and see what food they're putting in their kids' bodies, and then talk to them about the side effects of some of those things. I know what my diet's like. I know that I'm increasing my chance of diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and things like that. I have a feeling that their kids probably don't have rock-hard chiseled abs. They're probably eating high fructose corn syrup. They're probably eating all sorts of chemicals, and yet a vaccine is seen as controversial.
That mealy-mouthed response by Barack Obama, which seemed pretty mealy. Like the reporter had to go, so what are you saying? The reporter had to go, would you fucking say it to the goddamn, tell them to get their kids fucking back. Would you just say it, you son of a bitch? For once, stand up, there's fucking vaccines.
Wow, that is a good
That was
Chuck
full
Todd
on
impression.
purple, man. That was a full on face change.
He sounds like almost every reporter on CNN and MSNBC.
So let's get to the idiots.
Yes. Oh, no. We've still got a couple people.
Oh, we got some more smarties?
We showed the president, but let's show someone with some political power. Here is John Boehner.
Well, I don't know that we need another law, but I do believe that all children ought to be vaccinated.
Okay.
Wow.
Even Boehner, he's on our side.
Pretty
Not
clear.
just Boehner. Here's someone with some power in the media, Megyn Kelly.
My take is that every school district in the country should require immunization for measles. If you don't have it, your child can't go, period. Do you oppose mandatory vaccinations for the children?
No,
Okay,
and I want to say
we
on the
agree.
record, I have 3 children under the age of 6. I vaccinated all of them on time, as the doctor
About
prescribed.
90%.
Nothing was delayed. We did it as the doctor prescribed.
About 90% of Americans do the right thing. 10% don't.
But it's not enough.
Oh, it is.
It's not enough. What we need in these vaccinations is herd immunity or community immunity. So they're looking for about 95% of the community to be immune to protect all of us.
Right.
And it's starting to dip below that number, even on something like measles, which is airborne.
Right, but if you have been vaccinated, you shouldn't panic because you're not going to
You could get it, but you would get a milder form,
Much
is what
more.
they say.
Yeah, it's just almost like a cold. But the 10% can't go to school unless you get vaccinated. It's
More
pretty
and
easy.
more. This is going to be a big issue for these politicians going forward because it's about Big Brother. But on the other hand, some things do require some involvement of Big Brother.
Some things do.
Yeah, we should return to that with Megyn Kelly in the future. There are some other things, by the way, that also require Big Brother. But they've lost Fox News. They've lost Boehner.
Right. Think about that. Boehner, clear statement. Clear statement. Bill O'Reilly, regardless of what our feelings are about him personally and on every other issue, he said mandatory, period.
Yes.
He made a statement. That is completely the reverse of what we saw the president do. So that shows it right there. That's why people watch Bill O'Reilly, because he made a statement. Usually we may not agree with what he's saying, but here he was saying, clear, that's it. And the president kind of, I could get why you don't want to maybe.
Fox is being responsible on this issue. Now, not all of them. Sean Hannity had Rand Paul on his show last night. Didn't bring up Rand Paul's recent comments where he says that parents should have the option.
Are you
implying
kidding?
to me that Sean Hannity does not have a strong attachment to vaccination. But at least Megyn Kelly and Bill O'Reilly, far more interesting and successful Fox hosts, they are down with vaccination.
What did Sean Hannity have Rand Paul on to talk about? His new haircut? What
That's
word?
the thing Rand Paul is in the news for today.
Yeah.
Didn't merit a conversation.
Oh, he got Bill Cosby on to talk about his new line of T-shirts. What the fuck? Well,
it's actually sleepwear.
Yeah, nice, Johnny.
That's awful. Okay,
Now
so
let's get to some of the
but
idiots.
wait, really fast. We have an idiot. idiot, but an idiot who is on the side of vaccination. So they have lost Boehner. They've lost Fox News. They don't even have crazy Ben Carson on their side. Ben Carson saying, although I strongly believe in individual rights and the rights of parents to raise their children as they see fit, I also recognize that public health and public safety are extremely important in our society. Certain communicable diseases have been largely eradicated by immunization policies in this country, and we should not allow those diseases to return by foregoing safe immunization programs for philosophical, religious, or other reasons when we have the means to eradicate them. He added that there are sometimes exceptional situations that would need to be addressed. So I don't know what that means, but largely he is saying he is in favor of vaccination. Good job, Ben Carson. I now hope that you get the Republican nomination for the presidency.
Look. So even a guy who said that Obamacare is worse than slavery knows you should get your kids vaccinated.
Yeah.
So they can't even get that guy on board.
Yeah.
Nope.
I guess Ben Carson actually is a doctor because he just proved it with that statement right there.
Yes.
But you know, it's interesting. The Republicans, they have to do something weird here. Even Boehner said, we don't need a new law for it. He has to imply this implicit distrust of government.
Yeah.
So it's like they want to say, we hate government, we don't trust science, we don't trust government, we don't trust anybody. But they know that this one is real,
right?
And this is why they can't mess with it, because this is actually life or death.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why they're being forced into doing the right thing, even though they could play politics with it and gin up the base and be like, see, the government, the big government wants to stick your baby with a needle. But they're even doing the right thing here. So sometimes when they're doing the right thing, like Obama, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Can you trust the government on disease? Like, can you trust the CDC? I mean, look how they bungled Ebola. All over the place.
Listen, look how Walking Dead started. Remember, something happened at the CDC.
Yeah.
And next thing you know.
Yeah, and it took years for that show to get good.
Yeah.
So if you really want to sit through 3 or 4 seasons, I do like it now, though.